Well, this is a first. I have a first impression video on this sword, and it is unmolested. I have not touched it. I have not removed any scratches. I've not lacquered anything. I've not stained anything. This is a 100% first impression of this sword, which is a hallmark for this channel, because I just can't help myself from messing with the things I get. If it's not perfect or needs some tweaking, I just go at it. But this time I wanted to make sure that I did a first impression on the sword, and so you guys knew what you would get if you ordered from this company, potentially, maybe. I don't know. So this is from, see right here, this is from Shinken-Sword.com, Shinken-Sword.com. They also have an eBay store, a little pamphlet that it came with, which is kind of nice. It just says, thank you. By the way, if you order directly from our website, you're going to save about 10 to 20% off of the eBay price, which is good to know. I wish I would have ordered off their site directly instead of eBay, but it is what it is. So I ordered this just because it caught my eye. It looked handsome. I like the fittings, and I'll show those in more detail in a second. This is around a $300 sword, apparently $280 if you get it right from their website. So I ordered it. It was about 2.5 weeks from the time I ordered till I got it in my hand, which is nice. If you've ever ordered from some of these quote-unquote custom katana Chinese-made swords, you know, they can be a considerable weight. So being able to get it that quickly is a nice touch. Now, before I get into it, a couple disclaimers. Not really disclaimers, but a couple things to mention. So this is typical of your Chinese-made katana, and it's pretty relatively known that these swords all pretty much come from the same place or the same couple of places. They're all using similar materials. They're all going to be more or less similar in terms of quality, and it's difficult to pinpoint exactly where they're coming from. You can order two swords from the same company, yet they have drastically different features on them, like tsuba shape and things like that. And so it's difficult to paint broad generalizations in terms of what you're going to get, but needless to say, it's still fun to talk about, and I do want to talk about this. So the other disclaimer is the picture, the saya was black, and as you can see, it is kind of a bright blue with not glitter, but metallic flakes in there. You've got the rattan wrap style up here, which I don't know if it actually is wrapped, but I actually like it. It's cool. Like when I order this price point, it's kind of where I can get things a little funkier than maybe I'd normally purchase them. If I'm buying like a $2,000 sword, it's going to be pretty practical, pretty tame, you know, classic, subdued, that kind of thing. But on these cheaper swords that are just fun to own, it's kind of cool to go a little bit wild. And so I'm glad it came with this color. I think it looks pretty cool, especially with this bright rainbow sageo. I love that as well. I wouldn't normally pick this if I was buying an expensive sword, but on something like this, it's kind of cool to have. So overall, I'm actually happy with it. I'm impressed. For the most part, it's what I would expect at this price point. There's no glaring issues, just right off the bat, nothing major. There's a couple little gripes that I can have, but for the most part, it's great. So T10 Blade, supposedly T10 Blade, 28 inches, so on the shorter side, 10.5 inch tsuka, so it is on the smaller side of katana, but for me that's fine, because this is more of a play with, display piece, just have for the fun of it kind of thing. The saya, like I said, has the blue with the metallic flakes in it, multicolored sageo, nice and thick, which is a great touch. This isn't that cheap shoestring type stuff. It's actually very, very thick. So love that. This is super tight, probably one of the tighter sageo wraps that I've received. It does have buffalo horn fittings on the end, as well as here, and then on the mouth of the saya. You can see right there. And the mouth is done well. It's nice and clean, even thickness. It's actually one of the nicer looking ones I've received at this price point. It also slides in very, very well, and it's got a perfect fit, at least for now. It's really cold and dry here, so it's possible that could change as the wood adjusts to the temperature, and it can also change in the summer when it's a little more humid. But for right now, the fit is actually perfect. It does have rattle, pretty pronounced rattle. I don't really care so much about that on these cheaper blades. I find that I'd prefer it to be looser with rattle because that means it's less likely to have binding issues. Slides in nice and smooth. If you're going to get something that doesn't have rattle but it's also smooth, you're generally looking at a much higher price point because it's more custom fit. So out of the two options between binding and no rattle or rattle and being smooth, I prefer it to be smooth. You can do different tricks. You could put some Vaseline cotton balls in the end to kind of hold it in place if you want, but for me, it doesn't really matter. So let's actually start with the blade. No bohi, geometric yokote. The crispness of the lines are all standard for Chinese-made swords. No gripes. It looks well. Everything's uniform on the tip there. You can see. I don't see any obvious issues with the grinds on this sword. It has kind of the working high satin finish with a mild polish to it. The hamon, choji hamon, and it looks really, really good. I absolutely love the hamon. Let's take a look at this other side. You can see in the camera right there, it looks really good. There are quite a few blemishes, especially on the flats, which I can easily take out. Nothing that looks super deep. So like I said, it was really hard for me not to just remove those before the video, but I wanted to do a true out of the box. The only thing I've done to this is wipe off the packing grease that was on the blade. Copper Habaki. It's got a nice kind of semi-finish on it. It's not super rough. It's not polished either. So I like that touch at this price point. Getting something other than just rough ground is always nice. There is a little bit of play in this top seppa. If you push on it, you can move it around a little bit, which kind of just indicates that it's not maybe as tight as I would like. However, nothing rattles. Everything's solid. I have not removed this bottom pin. I like to remove that bottom pin and then shake it to see if you have play inside the tsuka, just to kind of indicate, you know, did they at least attempt to fit it to the tang, or is it just a big open gap and the only thing keeping it together is that pin? So I'll do that at some point, but overall everything is tight, everything is nice, pretty standard stuff, nothing major, no decoration there. The tsuba, let me see if I can get a closer view here, has a tiger theme, which is really cool. It's nice iron, just nice blackened classic iron. I really like the detail of the texture right here, and you will see that on the other fittings. Let me actually go on this side. Here we go, that's much better. You can see some of the detail on the tsuba. There's the tiger right there, and you can see the texturing around the rim that I like. As you can see on this collar, has the same. And this is one of the reasons why I liked it. I really like this kind of hammered metal look that it has on there. This is fit very, very nice. There's not really any ledges to speak of right there. Now onto the Semigawa. It's decent. This side is a little better. It just has a little more depth than this side, but the nodes are all about the same size. It's nice and even. It's, you know, it's what I would expect at this price point. There's no major surprises there. It's fine. I'm going to try to see if I can bring out some of the detail on it with some paint, and then do my usual polyurethaning on the Ito. I just like to do that, but I think it'll kind of make it pop a little bit more. You can see the Manuki there, tigers as well, gold. I'd prefer those not to be gold, but what can you do? The detail's mediocre. They're not, it's not great. Not a lot of detail in the casting on there, but that's fine. You can see the end cap. There is quite a bit of ledge on here, however, it's very shallow. And what I like too is you can see how the Ito actually goes through and it's tied on the end here. I'm sure this has an official name, an official type. I don't know what that is, but I don't have anything else like that. And I thought it was kind of a cool look to it, a cool touch to it. Slight hourglass shape, nice and thin. It actually feels really good in hand because it's on the smaller side. It's very light, very nimble, I swung it around a little bit, and it kind of just dances around because it is on the, like I said, it's on the smaller side. So it is nice and light, and even though it doesn't have a bohi, the blade does not feel heavy at all. Kind of a little bit of a closer look. So like I said, I just got it because I don't have anything quite like it. I especially like this saya. That was a nice surprise for me. Some people may not have liked that, but I like it because this is, like I said, it's primarily a display piece. This isn't some sort of heavy-duty cutter that I plan on getting. It's kind of just something to have. Tweak the Semigawa. Lacquer up the ito. Oh, the tightness of the ito is fine. There's some pieces that are a little, like right here, a little looser than what I would like, but everything else is pretty tight. I don't see any wood or anything poking through, so that's good. There's no gaps. You can see the saya fit. There's no gaps right there, so it's fit very well. Overall, very good quality, in my opinion, for the price point. And it also looks really good. I think it just works. Like, it's kind of some weird colors, but it just works. I love the blackened fittings, iron fittings, and kind of the detailing, the design of that hammered metal kind of look. Very, very cool. So now that I've done that, I'm going to take this. I'm going to stain that Semigawa. I'm going to lacquer the ito. I'm going to polish up the blade, not the whole blade, just the parts that have the scratches, the flats, and kind of get this thing to my version of perfection. So check them out, guys, if you're interested. You know, this is at least what I received from them. Your mileage may vary. Like I said, it's all different. It all kind of depends, but I'm actually pretty impressed with this, and it basically is what I expected. I did have a little bit of worry that it might not be great. I haven't ordered anything, actually. I don't think I've ordered any swords off of eBay, so particularly Chinese katanas off eBay. So all in all, it was a pleasant experience, and I'm happy with this guy, even though I've got so many of these in this price point, in this caliber. This one is still pretty cool. I'm glad I got it. All right, guys, catch you later.